coaching CEO and founder. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell to make sure you get notifications every time I upload a new video. So thank you so much. And also don't forget to leave your comments. I appreciate it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the concept of our behavior and why we respond and how we act. I noticed that in many coaching sessions, a common thing I hear is, I'm behaving this way because of what someone else did to me. I believe this about myself because of what people have told me. And a lot of times people get stuck in their story. They get stuck in their past, what their parents did to them, what an employee did to them, what someone said to them, how somebody treats them. And it got me to thinking, and I looked at my own life. And one of the things that I realized is that I can't help how somebody else responds. I can't help how somebody else behaves. I can't help what somebody else thinks. I can only manage me. I can't live by somebody else's story of me. I have to create my own. I'm going to give you some real life examples to show you what I'm really speaking about. I'm going to give you 2 or 3. I remember in my early career, I was an executive assistant and I was working in New York. It was probably around 92, about 92, 93. And I was working for this company, and the VP I was working for, I don't even know how we got on the conversation, but he said that 90% of Black women are on welfare. And then he proceeded to ask me, was I a welfare recipient? And he asked me, did I have children? Was I married? Like, he asked a lot of those types of questions. And it kind of shocked me. The irony was that I was getting married that year, which was funny. But I didn't have any children. I was not on welfare. And I thought that it was a really harsh thing for someone to believe. And it really made me feel very unconfident. And it made me worry, do other people see me like this? What am I doing to make someone feel this way about me? The second incident, and again, this is all business situations. I was consulting. I was consulting for a major water company, and the director of the learning and development team or department, she made inference of me coming off as an angry Black woman, and she was African American herself. She was Black herself. And I was like, how so? It didn't make sense to me. But again, this was her narrative. And because she felt my mannerisms, because when I speak, and you guys can look at my videos, I speak with my hands, I speak with my head. I'm kind of animated. I do all the things that public speakers tell you not to do. I do. And I never raised my voice to her. I never said anything derogatory or negative. I didn't speak unintellectually, but because of how I maybe do my head, maybe do my hands, that was an assumption. But it's a learned behavior, and it's because I would say I'm probably charismatic, maybe. And that's just me. It has nothing to do with being Black, being a woman. It's just being Dawn, right? But that was her narrative. That was her perception. And I could have taken those types of experiences about me as a person of color and let them cloud my belief about myself. And initially, when I was younger especially, I did question myself because of comments like that. What I wanted to share, because again, it does come up in coaching sessions a lot, whether it's about gender, race, sexuality, or orientation, this belief about oneself that is developed or created because of our engagement with other people. And what I learned is that somebody else's narrative does not have to be mine. I don't have to believe or question myself because someone else has an idea about me. I don't have to stop my progress because someone else may have created an invisible glass ceiling. I have the ability to leverage my knowledge, my experience, my relationships, my resources to break ceilings, to overcome them, to work around them. Um, I can create my own narrative. I don't have to believe what somebody else says. And even after, um, you know, in that consulting gig with the director, um, that I didn't stop using my hands or using my head when I talk because it's part of who I am. And it doesn't define my attitude or character. It's just I'm expressive. And as an expressive being, as an animated being, this is who I am. And I'm okay with it. And it doesn't hurt who I am. I can't change her behavior or her thoughts. It's up to her to decide how she wanted to see me, how she wanted to treat me. But I can put up boundaries to say, you're not going to judge me without knowing me. And you are not going to make me feel inferior or different because you may not like something or you may think I shouldn't or should do a thing. And that is one of the things I work with a lot of clients, especially minority clients or LGBT clients, because they have that extra layer. We have this extra layer of somebody else's narrative. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I behave this way because somebody else did this to me. I'm angry because I'm not treated fairly. I'm distant because people don't seem to like me. And my whole thing is helping people see the bigger picture and helping them stand back and go, there's billions and billions of people in the world. That one, two, or three persons aren't going to make a difference because you can connect to people that do believe in you, that do care about you. And there are people, even if it's one person, you're great. And you don't have to believe what somebody else tells you about yourself. No one knows you better than you. And you don't have to have bad behavior because somebody else expressed bad behavior. You can decide how you want to live your life, the story that you want to create, the beliefs that you want to have. I know that 90% of women who are African American are not on welfare. In fact, the largest recipients of welfare are children and the elderly, for good reason at that. And there's data that supports it. And so when you start to know how to do your own research and understand, even if there is this negative connotation, that doesn't mean that you fit into that category. You don't have to live somebody else's life. You can live your truth. And the next time you feel like, well, I'm doing this because of how I grew up, I'm doing this because this is how I was treated, you can change that. You can change how people treat you. And even if there's obstacles in your way, you don't have to let them stay there. You can leverage your greatness, your skills, your knowledge, your resources to get around those obstacles. Seriously, you can create your own narrative. You can choose what you want to do and how you want to push forward. And that was one of the best lessons I've ever learned in my life, is not to live by somebody else's perception of me and not to respond and worry about what somebody else thinks, because what someone else thinks is not our business. What I think about me is what's important. What you think about you is what's important. What Joe Schmo think about you is not important at all. At all. And you have the power to control that and to manage that. Trust yourself and decide for yourself what your life story will read like, will sound like, will look like. You are the author of your life. You are the author of your career. You are the author of your choices. You. And as soon as you know this and believe this and stop living somebody else's narrative, the quicker you'll be unstuck, the freer you will feel, and the more happier you'll be. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this helps. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Remember to like, follow, share, all that good stuff. And I will talk to you soon. Go out there and create awesome sauce for yourself and for others.